So this next part I call A terms because remember that it is an ax squared plus bx plus c. So I have a 15 in the A, so it's not just going to be x and x. Now we could have 1 and 15, 3 and 5. We also have a 4 here. So there are two ways to do this. I'm going to teach you the California method first because I find that most students really like this way. So I'm going to multiply 15 and 4, and I get 60. And remember, this last thing is going to tell me that they add. So I'm going to find the factors of 60. Well, 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, 6 and 10. What are the factors of 60 that add to be a negative 16? Well, remember, I could have a negative 6 and a negative 10. So this is kind of the weird part because we put it in fractions only in ways so we could reduce. So I'm going to take this first term without the x squared, and I'm going to take 15x and put it over negative 6. And then I'm going to take 15x and put it over negative 10. Now, I'm going to reduce these. Well, 15, we can reduce that by 3. And this one I could reduce by 3. This one I could reduce by 5 and 5. And so now, I'm going to write that over to the side. I have 5x over a negative 2, and I have 3x over a negative 2. So the only reason we put it in fraction form is to reduce. So now I'm going to take it as 5x minus 2 and 3x minus 2. So don't forget to check your work. So let's go ahead and check. First term's 5x times 5x, or 3x is 15x squared. The outer, negative 10 and negative 6, hey, those add up to be that negative 16. Last, I have a 2 and a 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is that positive 4. Now, that's called the California method. I have no clue who named it that, but there is another way to do it. So remember that we had 15x squared minus 16x plus 4. And we could do the exact same thing, get the factors that add up to be negative 16. This is the most common way to do it. I see most teachers teaching it this way. It's called substitution. And we're going to substitute that negative 16x in with a negative 6x and a negative 10x. Because remember that these two add up to be that. And we're going to go from what we already know. Every time I have 4 terms, I cut it in half. I can take out a 3 and an x. And it looks like I have 5x minus 2. We always take this sign with it. I can take out a negative 2. And I have 5x minus 2 because I took out that negative. And then we're going to combine the first terms and the last terms. So as you can see, no matter how we do it, whether I decide to use the California method or the substitution method, we get the same answer. Now, it doesn't matter if it's 5x minus 2 times 3x minus 2 or 3x minus 2 times 5x minus 2. No, because multiplication is commutative. All right, let's go ahead and look at example 7, 2m squared minus m minus 1. First times last is negative 2. What are the factors of negative 2 that add up to be a negative 1? 1 and 2 are the only factors of 2. So which one would have to be negative? We would want this to be negative and this to be positive because they would add to be a negative 1. And they multiply to be a negative 2. I'm going to use that substitution method. 2m squared minus 2m plus 1m minus 1 4 terms, we cut it in half. What can I take out of the first half? Good, I can take out a 2m, and I have m minus 1. Sign goes with it. I can't take anything out, so I have to take out that 1, and I have m minus 1. And my final answer is 2m plus 1 times m minus 1. The last question is just asking us to find the greatest common factor. We're not so bad at the greatest common factor, but we can't use a calculator for this one, for those of you that learned how to do that. So I am going to factor. In this one, I can factor out a 6y, and it looks like I have y minus 1 left over. In this one, oh my, I'm going to factor out a y squared. Oh, there's more. I could take out a 4y squared. And it looks like I have y squared minus 6y plus 5. Whew, so this one can keep going. What are the factors of 5 that add up to be negative 6? 4y squared, and I know that it's going to be a negative 1 times a negative 5. They multiply to be 5, and they add to be negative 6. Now, let's talk about what's in common. Greatest common factor. Do you see that this y minus 1 is in common? We're going to use that one time because y minus 1 can go into this one time and into this one time. We also have to look at this number right here. Between 6 and 4, the greatest common factor is 2. Between y and y squared, the greatest common factor is y. So, 2 times y minus 1 can go into 6y squared minus 6y. And it can also go into 4y squared times y minus 1 times y minus 5.